welcome to my channel. My name is Brianna. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you all about how I beat infertility and got pregnant with baby number 2. So to start off with, when my husband and I decided that we wanted to start our family, we had been married for 1 year, and we got pregnant with my son on the first try. And it was a pretty smooth pregnancy and everything. We did have some difficulties as far as with his birth, and he was born with a couple of birth defects and stuff. So it was kind of a stressful time when he was born. But when he turned 1 year old, we decided that we wanted to try to expand our family and have another baby. So in about June of 2018, we decided that we'd start trying again. And because we'd gotten pregnant on the first try with our first son, we thought, oh, this will be easy. This will happen like right away. But it didn't. So the first month goes by, I thought, oh, for sure I'm pregnant. Like, I just know I am. Took like a million pregnancy tests. I wasn't pregnant. Second month, third month, fourth month, fifth. And then by the 6th month, I started to get kind of concerned, because I didn't understand how we could get pregnant so quickly with our first son, and it was taking so long the second time around. So of course I started worrying that there was something wrong with me, something wrong with my husband, but we kind of just kept trekking along, just thinking, okay, it'll happen when it happens. But I got a little bit more strict with tracking my ovulation and trying different methods to get pregnant. But nothing was changing. So in March of 2019, my husband and I decided that we were going to adopt an embryo. If you don't know what an embryo is, when couples do IVF, they take the man's sperm, the woman's egg, and they put them together, and it creates an embryo. So when people do IVF, a lot of times they have leftover babies or embryos, and they can give them up for adoption. So my husband and I have always wanted to adopt, and we wanted to expand our family as well. And since we weren't having any luck getting pregnant, we thought, hey, we should try this. That was in March. We had a consultation for that. Shortly before that consultation, though, I had taken a pregnancy test because my period was a couple days late, and I had like the faintest line. And so I wasn't even sure if it was a positive or not. So I sent it to a couple of my cousins, and I was like, does this look like it's positive to you? And they both said that they could see a line. So of course we were super happy. We thought, oh, like we did it, we got pregnant. But then the next day I took another test, and there was no line at all at that point. And I started my period shortly thereafter. So according to Dr. Google, it seemed that I had a chemical pregnancy. So that was pretty disappointing, because we had gone all these months trying to get pregnant, and then we did get pregnant, and I ended up losing the baby. And I knew that we were going to do the embryo adoption, so I was pretty excited about that. I thought, okay, that's why it didn't work out, because this is going to work out. So in June, we transferred the embryo. It was one little baby girl, and everything went smoothly. It went perfect. It was a perfect baby. And so about a week after the transfer, I took a test, and it was positive. And I was ecstatic. I was so happy. I couldn't believe that it had worked, especially on the first try. And so I showed my husband and everything, and I took pregnancy tests consecutively after that, because I wanted to make sure that the line was getting darker. Because I wasn't supposed to have a beta until a couple days after. As I was taking more pregnancy tests, I noticed that the line was getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And so I had pretty much mentally prepared myself that it was going to end badly. I knew I was going to have another miscarriage. And so when I went in for my beta, sure enough, my levels were a clinical negative. So I obviously had lost the baby again. It was pretty disheartening, because you know, we thought for sure that this was going to be it. This was going to be what gave us our baby, and it wasn't. It was a pretty hard kind of a dark time for us because, you know, we just wanted another baby so badly, and it just didn't seem like anything was working out. So in August, I went in to see a doctor. He's more of a natural doctor, but he does do medicine, like traditional medicine as well. I just wanted to have all my levels and everything checked to make sure that I was completely healthy and that there was nothing wrong with me. So he checked my levels, and when they came back, he noticed that my prolactin levels were high. Prolactin is a hormone produced by your pituitary gland, and it is elevated only when you're pregnant or nursing. I was obviously neither of those things, so I should not have had elevated prolactin levels. So he wanted me to get an MRI because he said that typically, if you're not pregnant or breastfeeding, you could have a tumor on your pituitary gland. So of course that was scary. I was like, a tumor in my head? Like, what does that mean? And of course he said it was benign, wasn't cancerous or anything like that. So made me feel a little bit better, but it was nervous because some of my other hormones were off as well. My progesterone was low. My LH to FSH levels were not where they should be. So I was pretty nervous that I was never gonna get pregnant. So I got the MRI done, and there was no tumor on my pituitary gland. The doctor went ahead and put me on a medicine to help lower my prolactin levels. So I started that in the beginning of October. I was pretty hopeful that we could get pregnant that first time because I have heard that people who are on that medicine get pregnant like that. So I was pretty excited, and I thought, oh, we're hopefully gonna get pregnant the first month, you know? So the end of October rolls around, and I started my period again. And I was pretty devastated, and I was pretty convinced. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try anything anymore. Nothing works. I'm going to keep taking my medicine, obviously, but I'm just not going to worry about it anymore. I'm not going to worry about timing, intercourse, or baby dancing at the perfect time. I'm just going to not worry about it because it's taking up too much of my time and energy. So November 2019, life went on as normal. We tried to baby dance during my fertile period, but to be honest, we were so sporadic about it, and I was trying to track ovulation a little bit, but I couldn't figure out when I was ovulating, so I kind of just gave up and I didn't do it that month. And so then November 16th comes around, and I decided to take a pregnancy test that morning. I thought that I was probably about 9 DPO at that point. So I took the test. It was just an internet cheapie. I looked at it, couldn't see anything, so I just put it in the drawer, and we left and we went Christmas shopping. When we came back that afternoon, I took the test out of the drawer because of course I wanted to look at it again, and I saw the faintest of faint lines, and I couldn't believe it. So I'm like shaking, and I call for my husband. Of course I wanted to surprise him, but at the same time I needed somebody else's eyes to look at this test with me. So he comes in there, and he's like looking at it, trying to see, and he's like, oh my gosh, like I see a line. And I was like, I know, me too. And so we just like couldn't believe it. So I held my pee for like hours and hours, and I did it again that night, and I had some first response tests. They weren't like the first response early result. It was just like a first response, like quick results or results in a minute or something like that. So not even the super sensitive ones. So I took another cheapie, and I took that first response, and again, same thing, 2 very, very faint lines on both of the tests. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually pregnant. I couldn't believe it. And so next day I took another first response. It was like a little bit darker. And then the next day I took another first response, and same thing, a little bit darker. And then by day 12 days past ovulation, I took another internet cheapie because it was all I had left, and then I took a digital, and pregnant. I couldn't believe it, and my husband couldn't believe it, and the lines kept getting darker and darker, so that was super encouraging. And we just felt like, you know, this baby is from God. Like, you know, it made sense now why some things didn't work out in the past, and maybe why other babies didn't make it as far along. We just felt really, really blessed because we kind of like were chill about it. Was the month that we fell pregnant, and yeah, we're still just kind of in shock. At this point, I am 4 weeks and 5 days pregnant, so I'm still very, very early. So we're still praying, you know, that God will sustain the life of this baby, and that this baby will make it to full term, and that we'll add another addition to our family. I guess I just wanted to share this video because when I was going through infertility and we couldn't get pregnant, I just felt so discouraged, and I felt like nobody could relate. Nobody really had exactly my story, but I found comfort in hearing other people's success stories. So I guess if I have any advice to you is, if you're worried that there might be something wrong, get your levels checked. Go see a doctor who will listen to you and, you know, understand, hey, there's something going on. Like, she got pregnant before, why is she not getting pregnant now? Because had I not gone to that doctor who checked my prolactin levels, I might not have ever gotten pregnant. I might have kept trying for years and years and years, and it never happened. So that would be my advice to you. Get your levels checked, see if everything's okay, and then just try to go with the flow. I know it's so hard, and I was horrible about it for the longest time. I was so anal about it, but it really helped to just relax and just give it to God and not worry about it, because it wasn't in my hands when I got pregnant. I could try everything I wanted, but if it wasn't in God's timing, it wasn't going to happen. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it gave you a little bit of encouragement, and I'm going to be documenting this pregnancy and doing weekly video updates on each week of my pregnancy. So if you want, that'd be great if you followed along and hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.